Welcome to the FiPL Farm Diaries, brought to you by the Yorkshire Dales National Park Authority. FiPL stands for Farming in Protected Landscapes, a programme funded by Defra that helps farmers and land managers in England's national parks and national landscapes access funding for projects supporting climate, nature, people and place. In each episode, we'll dig into a particular part of a project that's received FiPL funding. And while we focus on one theme at a time, every story is part of a much bigger picture, showing how these projects and people are working together to shape the future of farming in the Yorkshire Dales landscape. Join us as we meet the people making a difference and discover how farming in protected landscapes is delivering for the Dales, one story at a time. Hello and welcome to the 12th episode of the FiPL Farm Diaries podcast. This episode is all about the power of a farmer network. So this is my bread and butter. It's really clear just what farmers get out of being part of a network and from learning from each other. So we've got Pasture for Life up first on this episode, Rob Bunn, and we've got a couple of farmers, Nick Prince and Ellie Archer, who have been involved with their programme. Now, this is quite a long-standing programme that's been FiPL funded. It's done some amazing things across the northern protected landscapes and the Yorkshire Dales National Park in particular. So let's have a listen to what these three have got to say.
So my name's Rob Bunn and I work for Pasture for Life as the project manager for the Farming Protected Landscapes programme in the north of England, which covers the protected landscapes of the Forest of Bowland, the Yorkshire Dales, the Lake District, Nidderdale and the North Pennines.
Right, Rob. So Pasture for Life have had quite a bit of FiPL funding for what is really a massive programme, isn't it? You've got a lot of farmers involved with it. Just tell us what you've had funding for.
That's right, Amy. So starting in January 2023, we secured FiPL funding, Farming Protected Landscapes funding from the 5 areas to run a programme which is all about really farmers supporting each other. Mm-hmm. So at the heart of that is a mentoring programme where we've got a team of 24 farmers that have spent a bit of time doing some training and then they're around and available to support other farmers through farm visits, WhatsApp calls, small group mentoring sessions, all sorts of things like that.
Yep, okay. So we've 2 episodes based on Pasture for Life. One is about the power of a network and then one is about farmer collaboration. So let's start with the network side of things and on-farm learning and demos. So we're here today about to do an on-farm learning session and event. Tell us the kind of things that you've done through the funding.
Oh, lots and lots really, Amy. So really, I suppose the first thing to say is that we were very keen on that the farmers shape the programme themselves. So we did a launch event and asked them what sort of things they wanted to see and where they wanted to go and who they wanted to hear from. And we've carried that through the programme right through the years. Every year we've done like a survey for events to find out what people want to see and learn about. And it's the usual good stuff. So soil, animal health, going to see farmers that are doing different things, extending the grazing seasons in the winter, deferred grazing, animal genetics, done some mindset stuff as well. So a broad range and a broad brush of content really. Yeah,
it's so important, isn't it, to get the farmers' input into what they actually want to hear, because we can all, people that work in the industry, we can all make a guess at what farmers might want to know, but it's better to hear it from them, isn't it? So
it is, and they've made it really easy for us, to be fair. They've come up with ideas, come up with people, and we just make sure we can do our best to make it happen. We also like collaborating, so we've done some stuff with HDB, with yourself, Farmer Network, lots of other organisations to really sort of help broaden that network. And for sure, there's lots of people that have really got to know each other that didn't know each other at the start, but now they've met people across the valley and things like that through this programme.
Yeah, and I'm guessing there's been quite a lot of changes made on farm from people coming to your events and seeing how other people are doing stuff, because that's one thing that I've picked up across all of these podcasts episodes is that there's no one size fits all, is there? So you go to loads of different events and you hear loads of different people and you pick the bits that are relevant to your farm, and I'm guessing that's come across quite strongly in this programme.
Definitely. Every farm's different, isn't it? And it's all about the context of your own farm. So quite a few times people might say, well, this isn't replicable on mine, but every now and again they've gone to places and seen things and think, yeah, I could take that home and can make that happen. But to be clear, we never expect there to be an outcome. There doesn't have to be an outcome. A lot of it is just about going and seeing things on farms and then maybe being able to implement them in the future on your farm.
Yeah. And the learning from each other as well will be massive in those. Well, it always is. Like, I spent years running discussion groups and people always learn as much from the farmers in the room as they do from the speaker, don't they? It's like a real discussion.
Yeah, and it's good, genuine information sharing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Farmers trust farmers.
Yeah.
They hear it from the horse's mouth. They hear what's worked, what hasn't worked. So it's just good, genuine, like sharing of info and help, really.
Yeah.
And that's really the heart of the program. And it's going from strength to strength.
Brilliant. So how many events are you running roughly a year? You do a lot, don't you?
So we've generally averaged like 1 or 2 a month, something like that. We've always built in some study tours. We've always built in some webinars so that we're as accessible as possible to everybody. But again, we've gone out of the regions. We've gone to see good things further away. But yeah, in terms of how many events we probably 10 or 12 a year, something like that would be our average.
Yeah, and your study tours, they're slightly longer. You go away for a couple of days there.
Yeah, study tours are for 2 days, 1 overnight. The first one was a bit of a risk because it was in Pasture, but we had such good feedback. And then the real win was that overnight dinner where everybody was just getting on so well, chatting, making friendships, that we've just replicated it year after year. So this year we've been to Southwest Scotland and North Wales. Last year we did Northumberland and the Scottish Borders, and the year before Pasture. So yeah, it just shows that farmers are up for travelling to see good things where they think they could learn something good.
Yeah, and the power of getting away overnight as well, that we always used to find that with our discussion groups, is that you can get people away from the farm overnight. It just gives that little bit longer to get out of farmer mode, as it were, doesn't it? And just have a bit of a real think about things. And you're right, the social side of this, we're talking about the technical, but the social side of a programme like this and a group of farmers that you've brought together is huge, isn't it? Farming can be quite isolating. You're on your own a lot of the time. So to get out of that echo chamber of your own head or your immediate neighbours or whatever is a big thing, isn't it?
It definitely is. Two big wins that we've had, I feel, is the WhatsApp group, such a simple mechanism really, but also the fact that we've got 5 landscapes together means that people have met and got to know people outside of their local areas as well. So if it had just been a Yorkshire Dales programme or a Lake District programme, people would have been sort of perhaps restricted, but we've got friendships and collaborations happening across all the landscapes now, and livestock getting traded, people helping each other, helping with TB testing or PD, and so all like good practical things like that across all 5 landscapes.
Let's come back to your WhatsApp group, because this WhatsApp group is like country renowned.
It's busy.
I would say if you want anything, get it in the PFL WhatsApp group. So obviously there's a lot of idea sharing. You use it for your advertising and everything, but that, from an outsider looking in, Rob, seems like such a hub of like support, information, idea sharing, collaboration. Yeah,
all of those, and even just a touch point when you've been out all day on your own.
Yeah.
And you get in the evening, it's dark. I did get a little bit worried that some people weren't posting in there, but then I've chatted to some people who never post, and they just say it feels like, you know, it's a connection at the end of the day. They come in, they make a brew, they sit down and read back what people have been saying and talking about, and some of it's of interest. So it's not all about that. You can't measure it just in that you've had lots of responses. Sometimes people are just actually drawing it in. And we did have somebody make a really nice comment about it's like having a big group of people around the kitchen table, but just online, where you can think about something, drop it in there, and suddenly 5 people will come back and say, oh yeah, that worked for me, or it didn't work for me, or I've got that, or I've done that, or come and see this. So it's just a really good way of people sharing information. And people can take it at their own pace. Also, the real benefit, well, not the real benefit, one of the benefits of the WhatsApp group is that I've got a really lovely photo stream now. There's so many amazing photographs in there that have come, like, dropped in. Like, I've never had such good pictures of cattle and sheep in my phone. So yeah, that's a real win too.
Hello there, Nick Prince. I'm a farmer from Hawes. We've about 400 acres, a few cows, a few sheep, and I work for the National Trust 3 days a week as a land use and farming advisor.
Brilliant. So, Nick, you've been involved in some of the events that Pasture for Life have done through their FiPL project. What sorts of things have you got up to with them?
Mostly just going out and about, looking at different farms, looking at people's systems. We're native cattle at home, and sort of trying to, I wouldn't say perfect, because I don't think we can ever perfect anything, but looking at how we can sort of manage the system in a sort of a good and efficient way, and you know, coming to these events, you're seeing what other people are doing, getting to understand that, so it's really useful from that perspective. Yeah,
and you're right, it absolutely is about getting out to see what other people are doing. You must do that with your job as well, quite a bit.
Yes, I'm quite lucky. I get onto a lot of farms, and you know, just sort of, you always take something away. It doesn't matter, you know, it could be the most amazing place, or it could be sort of what appears to be sort of, quite a humdrum place, but you still take something from it. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but
Yep.
there's always a little snippet that you take. You're like, oh right, okay, that probably might work for me, and you
Yep.
you mull it over. So I'm pretty fortunate that I can, I get out and I do pick a lot of stuff up off a lot of farmers, which is a bit of free advice for me. So it's all good.
Yeah, good stuff. And are you in this amazing WhatsApp group that we've spoken about? Are you in the Pasture for Life WhatsApp group?
Yes, I'm in certainly one of the WhatsApp groups,
Yeah.
and I think it's really interesting. Some really interesting sort of discussions go on there.
Yeah.
And quite often it's like, oh right, okay, that looks like a bit of interesting reading. I'll sort of have a look into that and see what what it's all about. So it's just sort of an informative thing that rumbles along in the background.
Yes.
That you don't necessarily, you maybe don't take any notice of it for a few weeks, but then all of a sudden there'll be a little snippet, and it's like, wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, quite a handy thing.
My name's Ellie Archer, and I've got a little 70-acre farm in the Yorkshire Dales National Park, and I've been a mentee with Pasture for Life for the last couple of years.
So, Ellie, you've been involved in the project. You've been to some events and you've been involved with a mentorship project. From your point of view, how has this all worked and what have you got out of it?
Well, it's been really good for me because I'm new to farming. I only started in 2019 without a family background. So it was really nice to speak to people, all different sorts of farmers, from small scale to large scale, people who've been doing it for years and people who've just started. Everybody is really helpful and you can ask the stupidest questions and it doesn't matter. On the WhatsApp group is great. And then the mentoring's been really helpful as well.
Mm-hmm. What things were of interest to you when you got involved with the programme?
Rich Summers butchery was really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just...
People still talk about that
events
now, don't they?
Yeah, it's really good. And all of the direct marketing stuff's been very interesting, especially for a small scale farming.
Yeah.
Because, and then I've really enjoyed some of the visits on different farms. And with the being a mentee, it's been a great opportunity to share resources as well. So with Sam and Claire, we split a pack of Monil GPS collars, and they've been brilliant for me.
Yeah,
because I've got peace of mind when I'm not there, and I can check on them. When they're about to calf, if they suddenly don't move, and they're just brilliant. I love them. So that was good because I've only got 3, so it wouldn't have really been something I could get on my own, and they split it. And also getting the pigs from them, because I know their pigs outdoor. They live outdoor all the time. They nest outside and are quite hardy. So it's quite nice getting my pigs off them because I know where they're from and everything. And in previous years, I borrowed a bull, which was really handy, not having many cows. And then put up the barn. So this year, probably try AI, but and it's great about all sorts of things, talking about being organic or not, or different ways of grazing, just anything and everything.
What have you made any changes, Ellie, do you think, from being part of the group? What are your biggest learnings, would you say?
Well, I've always been quite nature-friendly, farming focused anyway, but I definitely sort of learned a little bit more about rotational grazing and strip grazing, and trying to think how to do it on this land, which is quite difficult. And also the cattle handling, building the shed and getting it so that it would be easy to manage with one person.
Yeah.
And I've made some, friends through the group, through the women's group, sold some sheep to them. What else? And the water management as well. I've been thinking about ways to improve that.
So loads then.
Yeah, loads.
Loads of stuff.
And just sort of learning about all the ways you can, diversify or move your farm direction if you choose to.
Yeah.
No. So we're quite open, Amy, that quite often there doesn't have to be a learning outcome on an event, to be honest with you. And you may well go to a farm, and every farm is different, and it's really about the context of your own farm.
Yes.
So sometimes you can go and see things on farms and actually think this would not work on my farm, and I can tick that off and think that's not something I can do.
Yeah.
So we're really we're really mindful that sometimes there doesn't have to be an outcome.
No. Well, that is an outcome, though, isn't it, Rob? Like, if you're thinking about doing something, you go and see it in practice and think, nah, that's not going to work. Then, as you say, you can tick that off, can't you? That's brilliant.
Definitely. And every farm's different, you know. And up here in the north, look at today with the rainfall and the sleet. It can be a very different environment to some of the lower lying farms in other parts of not just the area but the country as well.
Yeah.
And we should just add that we've gone far and wide to see events, so we've not just stayed in our landscapes. We've gone out of the areas to go and see good things too.
Yeah, no, I've heard great things about Pasture for Life study tours. They sound like they're brilliant. But Ellie, what you were saying about ideas about rotational grazing, especially in this landscape, that is exactly right, isn't it? Because we've done another episode in the FiPL Farm Diaries series on getting started with rotational and mob grazing, and in a landscape like this, it's not always obvious how that works, is it? But there are people doing it, so I suppose being able to go and see it is a real plus.
Yeah, like seeing Neil Heseltine's.
Yeah.
And just looking at others, seeing how it might work has been helpful.
Yeah, and the different options for water and all that kind of thing. Like, no, I totally get that.
And I've also enjoyed the WhatsApp group and all the advice and ability to ask questions about anything from which abattoir to use, or any tips on anything really. And when I was building the barn, it was really useful to discuss the layout of the handling. Try and set it up so that I can manage it on my own. Just nice to get out, see other places, and you make some friends who are either new to farming or they're just friendly. And so it's good.
What would you say to anybody, any farmers that might be listening that have maybe seen either the Pasture for Life group or other groups available that are just a bit like, oh, I don't know whether I dare go and put myself out there? What would you say to them?
Well, you've got nothing to lose. It doesn't cost you anything, and you've got nothing to lose, and you might learn something from it. You might have some nice evenings out, some days out, and I would definitely advise it.
So the second people that we've got on this podcast are the Farmer Network, Kelsey Ann Williamson from the Farmer Network. So this organisation is doing brilliant things, all sorts of different events and helping farmers with various training opportunities as well. So let's have a listen to what Kelsey Ann has got to say and hear how FiPL have supported the network.
So I'm Kelsey Ann Williamson. I'm one of the self-employed coordinators for the Farmer Network, particularly working in Yorkshire Dales and Nidderdale.
Brilliant. So Kelsey, Farm Network have received some FiPL funding. So just first of all, before we go into the funding itself, just tell us a little bit about the network and the types of things that you do, because it's a membership organisation, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a not-for-profit membership organisation. We're run by farmers, for farmers, the true sort of grassroots approach. And we're supporting farmers, whatever the challenge, whatever the opportunity.
Brilliant. So I'm guessing when you do, I've been to a few of your events, you've always got something on, which is brilliant, and they're usually really well attended. Are you getting input from farmers as to what they want, I suppose? Are they telling you what sorts of stuff they want events and activity on?
Yeah, that's it. So we do some of the basic or more basic meetings, sort of updating on SFI and grants and that kind of thing. But we have worked a lot with the farmers in the areas to find things that are topical and relevant to them at the time. Like one of the scab meetings we did recently, that was really, really well attended at the Gamekeepers in Freshfield, and had really good feedback from that on how it was helpful for them to get more of an understanding about scab and things like that.
Brilliant. So you said scab then. What other sorts of stuff have you done fairly recently with farmers?
So we've done some soil health, SFI compliance, cattle grazing, and technology and innovation practices was the 5 sort of we've done this year with the FiPL money.
Brilliant. I was at your AGM the other night, and one of the things that comes across really strongly to me about Farmer Network is, as with all these farmer network sort of organisations that are bringing farmers together, the social side is massive, isn't it? And really, really important, getting people off farm in the same room over some nice food and a beer and just having a catch up. It does them the world of good, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It was really nice at the AGM, like you said, that we ran the other week, how many people stayed behind after the AGM, after they'd had the food, and were just sat there having a chat. And that is really important to us as well, making sure that people are there and getting off farm and just managing to socialise a bit, because it is hard to do if there isn't a particular reason to get off the farm.
It is, yeah, absolutely. So we've gone through events then with regard to FiPL funding. What else was that money spent on? Was there some training vouchers as well?
Yeah, so we had 10 support vouchers for businesses, helping them with training, mentoring and that kind of thing. And then we obviously had the Next Gen programme as well that we've run in both areas. But in Yorkshire, we managed to run 2 meetings and again had some business training vouchers for that.
Brilliant. So what sorts of stuff are people doing with those vouchers then?
So with the business support training vouchers, we've had people going to accountants trying to get a better understanding of the software they're using, like Xero and things like that, getting advice on marketing for their businesses, different courses to be able to diversify the business, cheese making, soap making, things like that. And yeah, just trying to find ways to future-proof the businesses, really.
Brilliant. So they're quite versatile then. You've had people doing all sorts with them, which is brilliant. So in the Yorkshire Dales particularly, I feel sometimes it can be a little bit of a black hole in terms of knowledge exchange events and that kind of thing. And I think the Farmer Network in particular are doing an amazing job of filling that and reaching some of these farmers that maybe, that are working on their own every day and aren't getting off farm and maybe aren't hearing new things or meeting new people. So yeah, is that something that you would agree with? I think you're a very trusted organisation in this part of the world, I would say.
Yeah, no, 100%. I would agree with that. I think we're doing a lot in the Yorkshire Dales area. Like you said, a lot of the farms are very spread out as well. I'm not from the area originally. I'm from the North York Moors, so we're a lot closer, I think. Whereas farms are so spread out around here, you can go days, weeks without seeing anyone. So I think, yeah, we're definitely trusted. I think we are doing a really good job of bringing people together and getting people, like you said, off the farm to these events and getting updated with the stuff as it's relevant, not several weeks, months later when it's all changed again, because we know what the government and Defra is like doing things like that to us.
Yeah, brilliant. So just give us a bit more information then about the Farmer Network as an organisation, Kelsey. So we've spoken about all the sort of on the learning events, the events and the training vouchers. If somebody was to join your organisation as a member, what else would they get from that?
So as part of the membership, we work as like a buying group. So we are in the Yorkshire Dales / Nidderdale area, but we also have a group in Cumbria and Northumberland. So we're quite a bigger organisation. So it allows us to offer discounts to our members on fuels, fuel cards, different meetings, discounted rates for when we do things like we had Cammy Wilson come down to Skipton Auction a couple of months ago and do a talk. We offered our members discounted tickets to come and see him and speak to him. But it is just really good at, like I said, helping save on business costs. We also work with an electricity company as well. But we're mainly about like maximising rural income via food production and other services as well. It's just, I think it's that sense of being part of a group and being able to get the help and that you need. The e-news is sent out weekly on a Friday at 3 p.m. and that is full of updates from that week as well, which again I think is a great help, especially with all the grants opening up and advice and things like that.
Brilliant. Yeah, and I suppose that having that network of farmers, it's obviously a massive benefit to farmers, but having that network at not having the information coming back from the farmers, like Adam Day as your managing director. I know Adam is involved in a lot of sort of national discussions, policy discussions. He will need very much the insight from the farmers for them to tell him what's going on, what they want, what the challenges and successes are on farm, all that kind of thing. That network situation works both ways, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%. Without the farmers and them telling us what we want and what they need, we can't go to these meetings and we can't represent the farmers and be that voice for them as well, which I know is a bit cliche, but Adam is doing so much work, going to so many different events and speaking to different people and sort of saying, look, hey, we're here, you need to listen to us.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the voices. That's one thing that I've heard from everybody that's used FiPL money for some sort of farmer, bringing farmers together, is that the voice is so much stronger. As you say, it sounds cliche and a bit waffy, but the voice is so much stronger when you're part of a group, isn't it, rather than an individual farmer on their own. So that's brilliant to hear. Good stuff. Right. So, Kelsey, just tell us a little bit more then. Firstly, about your next gen group, and then what else have you got coming up in the Yorkshire Dales area that farmers can get involved with?
Yeah, so the next gen is actually the program I went through a couple of years ago now, which is how I kind of end up back working for the Farmer Network. So that is for farmers or people that wanting to diversify farm business, get into farming, 18 to 40-year-olds. We just had our meeting a couple of weeks ago up at Hawes, really, really well attended, 30 plus farmers there. And we did it slightly differently this time, just due to how we had the funding. And we got several speakers, all from different walks of life, different agricultural businesses, things like that, all talking about their experience, how they got into the role they did, and sort of the different jobs in farming, as well as you obviously livestock farming and things like that. And it was really good. It was really different. And we split off and did a bit of networking at the end, like we said, the social side of it. And the questions our speakers were getting and the attendees, the information they got was really valuable. I think it was a nice change from your standard sort of sit there and listen meetings and speaking. And I think it really worked well with the next gen group that we had.
Brilliant, good stuff. Well, yeah, the next gen groups, they always surprise you, don't they? They're always slightly different, and I suppose different lines of questions from those people that are coming into farming rather than those that have been doing it for a long time. So that's brilliant. So you've a few events then coming up. Talk us through what you've got coming up in the local area in case anybody wants to come.
Yeah, so this Thursday, we are working in conjunction with various local businesses and the NFU to put on a health and safety event down at Skipton Auction in the Thursday evening. And that will go towards people's red tractors and assurances if they need a certificate for that kind of thing. So that's Thursday evening. Then we have on the 25th of February, we have an SFI and Green Finance update at the Gamekeepers. The 26th of Feb, we have woodland management at Beamsley. And then on the 3rd of March, we have a cattle grazing evening talk as well. So, yeah, got a few things coming up in the next couple of weeks, which will be really good.